to the left hand side, you should see these 4 dots and it says GPTs. If you click on there, you will see this particular screen. Now this section of ChatGPT is full of all the various GPTs created by individuals and businesses. If you scroll, you will be able to see all the different agents that people have created for users like us to be able to use, and most of them are free. You can search for Wiser Academy's ChatGPT by typing insurance trainer Wiser Academy, and when you do that, you will be presented with our out of hours ChatGPT Tutor. And if you click on that, the chat will open. You can read the description and it will tell you what it means, and it's giving you some points on how you can best use this GPT Tutor. So have a little read, and then when you're ready to interact, you click on Start Chat. You can interact with this GPT in 2 ways. You can use the voice command, which is here, or you can use the traditional typing feature and interact with it. I'm now going to run a few example prompts or chat just to demonstrate what this GPT Tutor is capable of. So I click on the voice mode. You just have to wait for a couple of seconds depending on your internet speed for it to activate.
Hello and welcome to Wiser Academy's chat. I'm your personal IF1 tutor, and I'm here to help you navigate insurance, legal, and regulatory topics in plain English. We'll also sprinkle in some exam-style questions to test your knowledge. And if you're using voice, it's a good idea to grab a pen and paper so you can jot down key points. Just let me know when you're ready to dive in.
Can you explain what contribution is from Chapter 8, Section A1 and A2 of the IF1 unit?
Absolutely. Let's break down the idea of contribution in really simple terms. So contribution is basically a principle in insurance that kicks in when you have the same item insured by more than one policy. It's like if you have 2 different insurance policies covering the same laptop. If that laptop gets damaged, the idea of contribution means the insurers will share the cost of the claim so that you don't end up getting paid more than the actual value of the loss. For an insurance-based example, imagine you've got a building insured by 2 different insurers, each with a policy on the same property. If there's a fire and a claim is made, both insurers will chip in their fair share rather than one insurer paying out the whole amount. Now let me check if that makes sense. Would you like another insurance example to reinforce the idea?
I am a little confused still. Can you give me an example from an everyday life scenario to explain what contribution is?
Of course. Let's put it into a more everyday scenario. Imagine you and a friend both decide to buy a gift for another friend. You each don't realize the other has bought the same gift. When your friend opens it, they don't actually need 2 identical gifts. So you and your friend agree to split the cost of that one gift between the 2 of you. That way nobody is paying double and you're both sharing the responsibility. In the same way, contributioning insurance is just about insurers sharing the cost so that no one insurer pays more than their fair share. Now, would you like to test your understanding of contribution with a quick multiple choice question?
Not yet. Can you now explain Section A3 of Chapter 8 Contribution?
Absolutely, we can keep going. So let's dive into that next bit of contribution. Now, Section A3 of Chapter 8 in the IF1 unit will typically deal with the methods used to determine how much each insurer should contribute. In other words, once we know that more than one insurer is involved, we need a fair way to decide how to split the claim. So the methods can include things like the sum insured method, where each insurer pays in proportion to the amount they insured, or the independent liability method, where each insurer's share is based on their own policy terms. Essentially, it's all about making sure the contribution is fair and that the total doesn't exceed the loss. Just to check in, do you want another insurance example to illustrate how this method works?
No. Can you explain how contribution arises and talk me through in detail the steps involved with examples for every step?
Absolutely. Let's walk through it step by step, and I'll give you a little example for each part. So first, how does contribution arise? Well, contribution comes up when the same piece of property or the same risk is covered by more than one insurance policy. Basically, if there's double insurance, that's when contribution comes into play. Now, the first step is identifying that there are multiple policies covering the same thing. For example, let's say you have a really valuable bicycle. You might have a specific bike insurance policy, and you might also have it covered under your home contents insurance. So there are two policies on the same bike. The second step is to figure out the total amount of the loss. Let's say the bike is stolen and it's worth £1,000. Both insurers agree that the loss is £1,000. The third step is deciding how to share the cost. If one insurer covered £600 worth of the bike and the other covered $400, they'll split the claim in that ratio. So the first insurer would pay 60% of the claim and the second would pay 40%. And finally, each insurer pays their share directly to you or to settle the claim. So that's how the process works in a nutshell. And of course, the whole point is to make sure you get the right amount of compensation without being overpaid. Now, would you like to test your knowledge with a quick multiple choice question on contribution?
No, thank you.
No worries at all. We can skip the quiz for now. If you
As you can see here, all the explanation, everything that the GPT-Tutor gave me over the voice command of it is typed up here as a transcript for you to refer back and learn more if you wish to. I'm now going to prompt or ask ChatGPT for more support as a tutor, but this time I'm going to use the type function rather than use the voice command. So I've got some commands here which I'm going to type. You can see, so I'm going to ask, show me the formula for calculating rateable proportion and show me or give me two examples. So it's given the formula for calculating a rateable proportion with a couple of examples each. Now I can switch back to the voice command and maybe ask it to explain this in more detail. But now I want my ChatGPT to create a cheat sheet for me. I'm going to request it to create a one-page cheat sheet comparing subrogation and contribution with examples. Subrogation and contribution are two concepts all within chapter 8. So the tutor has produced a simple table, a cheat sheet, taking key points and showing the compare and contrast for contribution and subrogation respectively. So that's handy if you're reading big chunks of paragraphs of text and it's all getting confused. This little table will put everything in an order and it'll give it a heading for you to classify each content and structure that in your head. I'm now going to ask the tutor again by text typing and ask it to create a one-page cheat sheet comparing rateable proportion and independent liability method of calculation of contribution. And you can see the tutor has produced the respective formulas for each, and it's most importantly given 2 examples for it. And now if you want to test your knowledge and understanding, you can ask it to produce some multiple choice questions. So I'm requesting, give me 5 multiple choice questions to test my understanding. However, show 1 question at a time, wait for me to answer, then reveal the correct option before showing the remaining questions. I'm going to give it an enter, and let's see what question it produces. So 2 insurers cover the same property, insurer A, B, total loss is 60,000, and I'm not going to do the calculation, I'm just going to choose an answer and let's see how it responds. It was incorrect, but it's explaining what the correct answer is and bringing back the formula that it used to explain for the next one. And now it's asking ready for the question 2, and I just have to simply type yes, and it'll bring question 2 for me to practice. And I'm just going to randomly choose D and see what happens. Just happened to be Luke, and it's correct. Say yes for question 3. I'm just going to randomly choose A. And it was incorrect, but it's giving me a little bit of an explanation. So that is our Chat GPT Tutor, the out of hours trainer. When you're performing or carrying out some self-studies and you're stuck and something is just not making sense, it's not sticking, then feel free to use this free Chat GPT Tutor that we have made available.